Hey YouTubers, I just wanted to talk to you about a project I just finished the other day. Actually inspired by SugarcreekForge, who was talking about how to make an inexpensive um, leather strop for your knives. So if you use your knives a lot, you cut cardboard a lot, you're definitely going to wear those down quite a bit. And I've actually checked on eBay and looking at leather straps. I was going to get one for my dad not too long ago. He's a barber and has a lot of razors that he likes to sharpen, and he does a straight razor shave every now and then. But I wanted to get him a new one, and was looking at straps on eBay, and they were really, really expensive. And so I was just checking out the other day SugarcreekForge, and one of the videos was how to make a leather strap for sharpening your knives. I thought my dad would really love it. He's got some pocket knives and things. He doesn't do too much nowadays other than sit in his chair, but he opens a lot of packages and stuff. So he's got a couple of pocket knives sitting right next to his chair, and so I thought one of these babies would be handy for him. Especially coming handmade from his favorite son, or only son, I guess I should say. But that makes me his favorite. So one of the things that SugarcreekForge was talking about was making small ones out of like the little paddles you get for paint, and taking an old scrap piece of leather, or even 1200 grit sandpaper, or cardboard. And you could check out his video. I suggest you go there. He's one of my top 5 if you haven't seen the video already. But I took it to a little bit different level. I started with I wanted to make something a little bit more permanent than the paint stirrers, and I had some pretty thick leather. And so what I did was I just took some scrap wood. I went over to my friend's shop, and we go over there and play. Whenever on the weekend, whenever we can get away. So I made one that's a little bit small. This one can go in your pack. It's not as thick, so it's not as heavy. It's a little bit lighter weight. I haven't put a lanyard on it, believe it or not. It hasn't gotten paracord yet. That won't stay that way for too long. But this is one I made a little bit heftier. I kind of like it. I made a little bit smaller size just so you could, if you're sitting watching TV or hanging out or whatever, you can have this in your lap, and it's not too unwieldy. But I had some thick leather. The leather I had was kind of like this. I just got this, some scrap leather, like at the flea market. I just got big hunks of it got a whole bunch of pieces about this size for like $5. So I had it from other projects I made, knife sheaths and stuff, and just had some laying around, so it didn't really cost me anything. This is scrap lumber. This was actually the slats on a bed. Anytime we run into any wood anywhere on the side of the road or whatever, it looks like decent wood that we can make something out of, me and my buddy, we stop and snag that, because we can always, make it something useful, recycle. So what I did was I just made this one just leather on this side. Made a little bit of handle. What I did was I took it it was just a wooden slat, cut off a piece, and actually let me get down here so you can see it. Just cut out a little bit of a handle and took it on the belt sander and just sanded it down a little bit. You can hand sand it. You don't even have to cut a handle if you don't want to. If you don't have any tools, you can actually make this with just about anything. You just want a hard substance. I did sand this down quite a bit so the leather would lie flat, just so I'd have a good flat surface for it. And of course I played around with paracord wrapping. I'm not the best in the world, but I like paracord and I play with it quite a bit. If you haven't checked out my top 5, you should check out, if you like paracord, tying it all together. JD there is paracord king, man. He is awesome and inspiring. So he can show you how to tie any knot or wrap anything in paracord. So it's pretty cool. On the other side, I didn't have any 1200 grit, so what this is like actually, I think 320 or 360, I don't know, whatever they had at the hardware store. I got it for a couple of dollars. I thought, it's still, even though it's fine sandpaper, you don't want to use this for just your knives unless you just really get some major nicks in your blade. So I thought, well, I'll throw that on there, and if I'm out and I drop my knife or something like that, scrape it up, you can still use that fine sandpaper to take out those nicks or whatever and work that in that blade. And actually really worked well, and I'm super excited about SugarcreekForge showing me this. Was turtle wax, and I think I didn't have turtle wax. I never waxed my car. I have a old little beater, so no point in me waxing it, but bought some turtle wax, and turtle wax, just smeared it on and let it dry overnight, so it worked great. I love this one. I actually made one just like this for my dad, minus the sandpaper. So my dad's got one right next to his chair, so that's great. He loves all my little projects, so I always make him something. Another thing that SugarcreekForge was talking about was actually, I didn't even think about it at the time, but cardboard, cutting cardboard with your knife really dulls it out quite a bit. And, if you cut more than 4 or 5 boxes, you can definitely feel the edge, losing the edge in your knife. And so one thing I did was, he had it on the other side, like one leather, one cardboard, but I thought I'd make one just for seriously abused knives. I got my sandpaper on one side, and then I've got some cardboard, and you can just drop that too, and that will actually help work out those nicks or whatever. So this one was one of my first prototypes. I forgot to put a lanyard hole in it, so by God, that's why it doesn't have any paracord. Yeah, so one thing that I did finish, it's my last one. There's the paracord. This is my last project, so of course it looks better than all the rest, but actually this is my last one. It looks kind of like a paddle, so I guess if need arises, I can put a spanking on it right there. But I just wanted to show you those. Let me put those back up there for you to see. Just a little altercation, or alteration, I guess I should say. Alteration or altercation is a fight. Not necessarily rivaling with anybody, but these are just some projects that I put together with just some scrap. And I appreciate SugarcreekForge for coming up with that idea. I just expanded on it a little bit, and you can do the same thing. So even if you're not really handy, all I did was, one thing too is I just got those 2 joint compounds. You can use JB Weld. You can use, I can't even remember the name of it. It comes in like a little, looks like a syringe. There's 2 different components, and you squirt them out together, and it mixes, and you mix it. You just smear it on there, and it was like 5-minute bonding something. So I just took it and clamped it on there. So even if you're not really handy, even if you don't have any tools, you can make something like this. I use my pocket knife, actually my Leatherman, to cut the leather out. So I mean, I wasn't using some major tool or anything like that. You have scraps of wood. Probably you could use a lot of different stuff besides turtle wax. If you have another car wax in your garage or something, you could probably use that. So just wanted to give a little shout out to SugarcreekForge for showing me that and showing my new projects. I believe he mentioned something like that on his video about that. So check it out. Thanks.